My hope was to sensitize students from all parts of the world. My hope was awareness raising for the importance of Sustainable Development Goals.
On the eve of the new millennium, as the world was facing unparalleled levels of challenges, leaders of 189 countries gathered in September 2000 at the United Nations in New York to sign the historic Millennium Declaration. They committed to achieving a set of 8 measurable goals by the target date of 2015. Kofi Annan, then UN Secretary General, was incremental in establishing the MDGs. Building on the momentum of the MDGs, all United Nations member states adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development in 2015. At its heart are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which are an urgent call for action by all countries, developed and developing, in a global partnership. Ambassador Staehelin, Swiss permanent representative to the United Nations from 1997 to 2004, was very much involved in the promotion and implementation of these SDGs.
The idea behind it is that future generations should be able to live as well as we do. I've always been of the opinion that when you talk about the future, we have to do that, including the young generation.
Today, more than ever, you need to take into consideration what we 20, 30-something-year-olds have to say. There is a dire need for intergenerational dialogues and youth perspectives on the ever-augmenting problems. The youth today is rebellious and outspoken, but we are also the go-getters and the change makers.
Civic engagement by the youth is indispensable in transforming conversations from dissent to peace and bringing about accountability, which is very important in the journey towards achieving sustainable development.
Challenge for older people many times is that we are locked in ways of the past. We have more difficulties in seeing how to transform. And young people see new possibilities and solutions, and we need that new approach.
Eager to stimulate reflection and innovation on key development issues from diverse disciplinary and contextual perspectives, Ambassador Staehelin approached the director of the Graduate Institute with the idea of establishing a yearly international student competition.
And since I was at the same time member of the board of the Kofi Annan Foundation, I asked Kofi Annan whether he would accept to become the patron of this competition, which he graciously did.
I think that sort of competition challenges them to take on responsibilities. It challenges them to look at an issue, analyze it, and suggest a solution or a way of dealing with it. It also encourages them to work in a team that is often multinational, and you learn to respect each other's cultures and offer hopefully solutions to some of the problems of societies. And this is how we begin. When people ask me, how do I become a good global citizen? I always tell them it begins in your community, in your university, in schools, coming together to try to tackle an issue of concern to all of you, looking for a solution. And I think this is a very good training for future leaders and people who are going to help develop our world.
I think by now it's fairly unnecessary to convince anybody that the nature of the problems we're facing today will call for interdependent action, collective action. And so, having our students be involved in the Geneva Challenge is really one way in which to foster this sense of responsibility, this sense of engagement, which should actually be a sense of responsibility, a sense of engagement that we all feel individually.
In 2014, the idea became reality. Since its first edition, the Geneva Challenge has aimed to encourage interdisciplinary collaboration between 3 to 5 master students from around the world. Students are asked to develop projects that are theoretically grounded and offer pragmatic solutions to a relevant international development problem. Submissions are evaluated by an interdisciplinary academic steering committee that selects semi-finalist projects that are then reviewed by an independent jury of experts with diverse backgrounds. Finalist teams are then invited to present their projects in Geneva, where they defend their ideas and answer questions from the jury and public. Over the years, the Geneva Challenge has gathered more than 9,000 graduate students divided into 1,888 teams, representing more than 500 universities from all regions of the world. The first edition sought to address SDG 5 by tackling the challenge of empowering women for development.
There is no tool for development more effective than the power of women.
Empowering female sex workers in the city of Bogota.
The 2015 edition on how return migration can contribute to social or economic development.
I think it's safe to say that migration is a mega trend of the 21st century. It's going to be one of the big issues.
And you are all smart enough to have deduced from what I have just announced that the first prize and the check of Swiss franc 10,000 goes to the University of the Philippines.
In this third edition, the challenge was to address the complex issues arising from urbanization and how lives can be improved in an urban setting.
I'm here to engage with you in this institute with an inspiring body of scholars and the young audience to exchange views on the most important trends in our times, specifically urbanization and its role in supporting us as human beings and as leaders to foster sustainable development.
Our project consists in improving solid waste management systems within the city through implementing behavioral changes and enhancing and recognizing the role of waste pickers in the city.
The challenge of the 2017 edition was to address the complicated issues arising from employment.
We have the SDG 8 calling for the promotion of, quote, sustained, inclusive and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment and decent work for all.
Mvuzo is a mobile application that links job seekers with employers. It provides job seekers the ability to upskill themselves through training modules that are in a gamified process. So this incentivizes users to keep using the application. It also allows employers to look at job characteristics of the users who are using it and make better judgments about who they want to employ one day.
The 2018 edition of the contest addressed the challenges of climate change. In order to encourage reflection on SDGs and recognition for such efforts among students from all around the world, the jury decided from now on to award 5 prizes, 1 per continent.
We are now taking into consideration that there are regional realities, and we are having these regional awards that I think recognize the fact that a university in a certain region is not the same as a university in another region, and that everybody should be given an opportunity.
Our solution, Data Analytics for Sustainable Herding, DASH, aims to increase the adaptive capacity and improve the livelihoods of the most vulnerable population.
In 2019, students have been asked to address the intricate issues arising from global health.
We believe that our solution not only would help people in need, but also would prevent the severe consequences of improper disposal of medical waste. And by this, we truly believe that we can turn excess into access.
The theme for the 2020 contest was tackling the challenges of social inclusion.
Our project is on building a digital teletherapy platform for elderly who are socially isolated to connect with their families.
An international student competition like the Geneva Challenge allows participants to be part of the effort of advancing development goals
and also allows them to acquire additional skills and knowledge that may be helpful in their future careers.
I was part of a 4-person group, all from Bolivia, that were representing South America.
We were working on a project which was addressing a real-world problem while we were going through one ourselves. And that allowed us to push our limits and cultivate new skills in a short amount of time.
We had a great time just diving deep into the problem-solving mindset and the innovation space that really allowed us to tackle this from many different perspectives.
We looked at the problem practically and thought about the processes on ground rather than using the usual academic discourse which we are taught to use in our master programs, and that was the real learning experience.
I think one of the biggest lessons learned throughout the process was that you can really think of how to address a single issue from a variety of different perspectives. This is why taking on a multidisciplinary approach is so important.
Today, there are so many social, economic, and environmental problems that transcend national boundaries. And in the global discourse of sustainable development, it becomes all the more important for students like us who believe in an idea to do something and act upon the ideas that we can come up with.
Part of the experience of the Geneva Challenge is also to provide the finalist teams project implementation tools through a workshop in order to enable them to implement their own project, but also apply those new skills in their professional endeavors. We are immensely proud of our past cohorts and their incredible ideas to create a change in this world. Some teams went a step further to implement their project and made a significant difference to communities across the world. In 2020, the team from Africa presented the project VIFIRS, which aims to build the adaptive capacity of refugees and the host community in the Biribiri settlement in Uganda to land scarcity and rocky soil through the multi-story vertical farming approach. The goal of this project is to help them become self-reliant in overcoming food shortage and poverty. Since then, the team managed to establish viable partnerships with the different stakeholders and to construct 10 multi-story gardens for 10 groups across 10 communities.
I am Sai and I am a part of Team WISE from the 2020 cohort of Geneva Challenge. With our project, we wanted to formally integrate waste pickers into the waste management system, enhance their social dignity, and transform community behaviors contributing towards a sustainable environment. We went a step further to implement the project in Hyderabad, a metropolitan city in India. We started the project in 2021, however, pandemic proved to be a challenge for continuing implementation due to lockdowns, the deadly second wave in India, health and safety concerns. As more and more people are getting vaccinated, we look forward to restart our program with new enthusiasm and ideas for advocacy.
My message to participants is it's good to talk, but it's better to act. So get involved and don't wait. And be impatient, but patient at the same time. Be impatient in your quest for change, but patient in your endeavor to really make the change.